What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Strength Solutions Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also on YouTube, you can subscribe down below. You can comment down below as well. So hit that button to subscribe. Then our website is ssempowered.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and we have programs for purchase as well. Now, if you're looking for an email to email us future fitness questions, it's strengthsolutionsempowered@gmail.com. Social media, Facebook is Strength Solutions. TikTok is strength.solutions.pod. Instagram is Strength Solutions Empowered. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right. So today I want to bring up a topic that we always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the booty.
Oh, yeah.
Booty. So we have a free blog about how to build a butt. And there's a lot of misconceptions.
Yeah, definitely.
Social media is out there.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to talk about first things not to do.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about things to do. So the first thing not to do is to band everything up.
Yeah.
So because people feel like they feel their glutes more, that they are supposed to put bands on there. And what they're really feeling is like the piriformis muscle, which is the external rotator.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not so much your glutes. It's deep underneath. It's more of a stabilizer. Look, if you put a band on it, you're going to feel the burn, but it does not mean you're going to get muscle growth.
Right. It doesn't mean you get growth. It doesn't even mean you get strength. Right. I think that it's good for, like, we've talked about this, like priming, right? Getting it kind of ready for something else, but it is definitely not the way to go to build bigger glutes, right? I was watching this video yesterday. I forgot who it was, but they were talking about how to grow bigger shoulders. And they were saying that there was like a big trend going on right now where they're just talking about like doing lots of different types of lateral raises. That's a good
like
way.
A lateral front and then
or like
underhand.
Or use a cable and a dumbbell and whatever, and the guy was like, that's not how you get big shoulders, And I kind of equate it sort of to this, where it's that same sort of concept of like, let's do a million things to get, you're really burning or you really feel it or whatever. And then most people equate that, right, to, okay, well, I'm probably going to get stronger.
Yeah, like doing the fire hydrants, the kickbacks.
Yeah, kickbacks.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a place for them. But
there is.
There's a place, right? So that's what you see and you don't want to do. Now, let's talk about if we were to build a program, how would it look?
Right.
Now, I would hit legs or butt 3 times a week, right? But I would hit them in different planes for sure.
Yeah.
And there's one plane that you can hit a little bit more. So if it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe on Monday you come and do squats, you hit more of the vertical. Then you do deadlifts on Wednesday, you'll hit more of the horizontal.
Right.
And then straight up is the hip thrust, right? You hit it very direct.
Yeah.
Now with the hip thrust, you probably can add it in like a Tuesday if you want to, because it's not going to damage the back or anything like that. But a hip thrust, those are the 3 main lifts I would do to build glutes.
Yeah, those have to be the 3 staples, right? You could even do them like, I would say, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? And use each one as the main lift of the workout. Yeah. You're definitely going to feel the hip thrust the most, I think, in the glutes, right? Like that's one where you're going to really, really feel it. I mean, if you're doing the other ones properly, you definitely should feel it too.
But that's where priming comes in hand, right?
Right. But you're just going to feel it so much more isolated in that hip thrust. So, I mean, I would say, if you're someone who's like, well, I need to feel it, like I need to know just like mentally, right, that you're doing something, then definitely I would say hip thrust is going to be one of your top ones to do.
Yeah. And that leads to connection. So if we're doing a squat or a deadlift and you want to feel your glutes more, it's what you do before the big movement. And so, for example, if you do some glute bridges just on the ground and then go squat, you're more likely to feel your glutes at the very bottom of your squat. Also, when you squat, you have to be past 90 degrees.
You have to be, right? Yeah. So past 90 degrees or at the very least 90 degrees is where we get what's called co-contraction, right? And that's where the quads, hamstrings, and glutes are all activated at the same time. If you go anywhere above that, it's going to be very, very quad dominant. You're pretty much not going to get any hamstrings and glutes at all. So squat's one that I would say, like not be careful, right? But when you're doing it, just be aware that you're always hitting depth. Don't try and go heavier, right? If you can't get all the way down, because then you're not really getting glute gains and you're going to be like, squat fucking sucks for glutes. So that's one that I would say. Like I said, priming is really important on the program that I'm kind of running through right now. a lot of it for my deadlifts and stuff like that, I'll do back extension first. I'll do glute bridges first. I'll do even some lat pull down, but that's kind of a little bit different. But I'm doing all those things to prime up, and then I go into my deadlift, right? If nothing else, what I usually do with my clients is I'll have them do stuff like that, and I'm like, remember how it felt, right, when you were doing that glute bridge, or when you were squeezing, or you had the band or whatever it is? Okay, I should feel the exact same way, right, when we're doing the hip thrust, when we're doing the deadlift, etc.
Yeah, and with the squat as well, low bar versus high bar. If you want to feel your glutes more, you go a little bit more low bar.
You got to go low bar. That's going to be a little, you're going to be like, oh, my shoulder.
And then the last part is making sure you get enough frequency. And so in a lot of our programs, you can build in extra glute frequency.
Yeah.
So let's say you do a full body routine Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you come in and you could focus on the glutes at a lower intensity.
Right. If that's your main focus, then you're going to want to choose those. I usually, it's usually like 5, maybe 6 exercises that you do on those days. And I usually make the brunt of it, like 2 or 3 of those exercises, whatever my goal is or whatever's lacking to, right. And choose those.
Yeah. And this is where the cable kickbacks, abduction, adduction machines start coming in to play. They're not the bulk of your program. You got to hit the big lifts first, and then you'll go into these type of lifts.
Right.
Now, if you're doing a program where it's a split routine, which is push, pull, legs, and then on your leg day, well, you would only program either the squat or deadlift on different days, and you would program the hip thrust each day.
Yeah.
And then after that, you would do the little movements like the fire hydrants, the glute bridges, the cable leg, straight leg.
Yeah, or you can do hack squat or something, Yeah. But again, like you're saying, we're not saying not to ever do those, right? We're not saying they're like useless or whatever, but it's like if you're trying to grow your glutes, and that's a tongue twister there.
Yeah.
Grow your glutes. They should not be the main parts of your exercise.
Yeah, I mean, too many times we think soreness and burn equates muscle growth. It does not really equate muscle growth.
It doesn't.
All right, bro. I haven't seen you for a while. How was your weekend?
My weekend was all right, man. On Friday night, I went to the Oyster Bake.
You actually went to that?
I did go. Yeah. That was my first time ever to Oyster Bake. I've never been to Oyster Bake before. I've been to like other Fiesta.
Oh, you live like
stuff.
right there.
I don't. That one's in St. Mary's University.
I know it's not that far from you.
I guess
got
it's
to
not
cross
that far.
one highway.
Yeah. We did the park and ride, so like the Via bus that kind of like takes you down there. So much better, bro. If you're gonna do anything Fiesta, like you need to do that, because we got there and I was like, where would I even have parked? Like,
dude, I remember parking one year. It was horrible.
Yeah, you got to walk like 3 miles. It was ridiculous. But it was a nice night, man. There wasn't too many people. The weather was great. We got there a little late, so it was like maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock.
But you said Friday, right?
It was Friday, yeah.
Saturday's the crazy day.
Saturday is a crazy day, yeah. So they had like bands and music and stuff like that. The food was all right. It's kind of expensive, but it's Fiesta. It's kind of what you expect. But it was a good night. But let me tell you the story real quick. Okay. So we're on the Via bus back home, right? Everybody's, it was a good time. It was a party. Dude, this guy, I don't know if he's going to listen to this. I told him, I was like, you should listen to Strength Solutions podcast. No, dude, threw up all over this lady. Like
no
random
way.
Person, bro. Yeah.
That's
like,
the bad part of the bus.
yeah. So we're like sitting there and it's like me and Camille, and then our friends are in front of us. And then like the guy is kind of in front of them too. We're just sitting there waiting. I don't even think the bus had taken off yet. And like, it was almost so fast that I was like, what the hell happened? Cause this lady just stands up and she's like, what the fuck? Like, super mad.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
Yeah. And like
it could have been you, bro.
her husband was there too. And they were just like going at this guy. Like they were just like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I could tell like I felt so bad, man. Like he felt so bad. He was like trying to give her money, and he was like, for dry cleaning for like your dress and stuff. And she was just like pissed off.
Damn, dude.
Whole bus is irate. They're like, what the fuck? Get this guy off the bus. I was surprised they didn't kick him off the bus, bro. They didn't.
Really?
They let him stay. The bus driver came back and definitely like addressed the situation and like gave him a bag and like all this stuff. But
how's he supposed to get home?
I don't know. Fucking
who's gonna drive his car?
Uber, bro. Like, he fucked up, man.
Oh, shit.
And he was there with like 2 other people. I'm assuming maybe like his girlfriend and like I seemed like maybe the mom or something like that. Happy Fiesta, yay!
Dude, I was in Round Rock and I was looking at like Fiesta 2024 videos,
Uh-huh.
dude, there's like fights already breaking out. People are like drunk just on the side.
Oh my God.
It's wild, dude.
It is wild. Yeah. It's like irresponsible, you know? Yeah. Cause I was thinking about that guy and I was like, man, number one, he either pre-gamed before or something. Cause I was like, otherwise, bro, a beer like the fucking size of my phone was like $8, dude. So I was like, he must have either spent a fuck ton of money to get that wasted, you know, or pregame before or whatever. At least he took the fucking bus, right? He wasn't like driving around.
Wow,
but I think
dude.
too many people just go and they're like, let's get fucking plastered in public, you know? And I'm like, that's never going to turn out okay. You know?
Damn, dude.
Crazy, bro.
And you didn't do anything else?
No, that was about it, man. We went Friday, Saturday. I think we just kind of hung out at home. I can't really remember doing anything special. Sunday was a super nice night, or day. And so we just kind of hung out outside for a little bit. Weather's been great here, bro. It's been super nice.
Nice, dude. So on Saturday, I left to Pflugerville.
Uh-huh.
Dude, it was easy to get out of San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah, everybody was probably
partying,
Fiesta,
bro.
Yeah, already. So I got out, went real easy, went to Pflugerville, went to Kalahari.
Yeah.
I love that place.
You love that place, man. Kalahari.
But
Sponsor us.
I would not eat there. It's just expensive, dude, to eat there.
Is it really?
And there's a lot of good restaurants outside of there. So you could just drive real quick to a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah, and the food there is probably, I can imagine, is just like whatever. Or you said that it was pretty good, right? Don't they have
No,
like
the
a
food's
pizza
pretty
place?
good.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not flavorful or whatever. It's just a lot more
It's
expensive.
just expensive.
More than I'm willing to spend.
Yeah. The food's just expensive, bro. Like even at Fiesta too, it was like, I think we got
For chicken on a stick, what was it?
$9
For chicken on a stick?
and
You gotta be kidding me.
we got like a basket.
No, wait. A chicken on the stick,
chicken on a
$9.
stick. I want to say it was like everything food wise was like $7 to like $9.
Bro, I'm fasting if I'm going there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to make it worth it. Yeah, we got like a basket of fried oysters, which honestly, it was kind of a lot. It was like a good amount. Like we were able to share it, and I was like, that was pretty good. Like I didn't feel bad about
And
it.
it was aphrodisiac, so y'all had sex there on the spot.
Then I was just like, you better get down right now.
Oh, we're going downtown right now.
It's Fiesta. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody's gonna see us.
Yeah. That was like $8, and I was like, this is so good. I feel like for
Did you
fried
say
oysters.
Camille was $8?
Yeah. Just, everything was coupons. So it was expensive, but that's just the way it is now. Thanks, Obama. Right?
Dude.
Yeah, fucking Obama, bro.
Dude, you're crazy. So I was there at Kalahari. You know, I'm like a people watcher and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And so,
Little creep.
stupid. So I'm walking in, and this guy obviously has a stroller, has a set of twins that are walking already. And he has his wife. The guy's like trying to open the door and get his stroller in through the door. The wife is just like lollygagging back, right? And then the kids, well, they're just following.
Obviously.
And dude, so like, it made me really think because I could tell the difference between, because me and Amanda talked about this.
How old are the kids?
They're probably like 2.
Oh, God.
And then the baby.
So they're stressed out.
They're stressed out, yeah. But the mom wasn't doing like anything. Like the guy was literally pushing the stroller. Yeah. And we were sitting in a place where I can see them too. And we were just talking about like the importance of, you know, working together as a team.
Teamwork, man.
And I think we're such a me culture.
Yeah.
And I've noticed more and more either one parent does all the load versus the other.
Yeah.
And then you could tell when a team actually works together.
Right.
It's really kind of crazy to see. And I think I would be exhausted even more if like Amanda didn't do her half.
Oh, for sure, bro. I mean, like, obviously I've been in relationships like that, you know, and it's like, it builds a lot of resentment, you know, like you start to like kind of resent your partner and you're just like, what are you doing? You know, or it's like coming home from a long day of work and then being like, okay, well, now I'm going to clean. Now I'm going to wash the dishes. Now I got to cook food now. And it's like, what the hell's going on? You know? Yeah. And it sucks, right? Because like, you don't want to resent your partner, but it's just like, it does, you know? And I think it's important to communicate at that time, be like, hey, you know, I feel like I'm taking on a lot of the load, you know, like, is there any way that you can help out? Or maybe if I'm not noticing something, can you maybe bring that to my attention so I'm not just sitting here pissed off, you know? But it does suck, man. And I think it does bring to light a lot of the times, like we had a little conversation about it, right? And it's like, I think that especially in today's culture too, I mean, like, I don't know the situation, right? Like maybe the wife does everything at home. So he was like trying to go double time on, you know, the vacation or whatever. But I think there is a lot of it to where it's like men are just expected, right, to do everything, right? And more, and like not complain about it. Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, you're supposed to open the door. You're supposed to pay for everything. You're supposed to work all day. You're supposed to come, on vacation. It's my time to have vacation because I'm with the kids all day. So now you got to do this, and then it's just like everything. And a lot of the times it kind of goes unnoticed or unappreciated, and then guys are pissed off or, whatever it is.
And I really think it's a big part of why men are becoming more passport bros, or you heard Wemby from the Spurs say, I wouldn't date a American woman.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah. He's
Where's he from?
He's from France.
Oh, okay.
And it's because in this culture, we've embedded a me kind of culture.
Yeah.
And it's always about me. And it's crazy because you could do everything right. And then, for example, that guy, you just sent me a video today about how his girlfriend's so trusted that we
gotta save that one for next time.
Okay.
But you can go into
it. She cheated, right?
Yeah,
she's cheating, and the guy's calling her out, and
it's
that video was insane. But I think we need to really bridge this gap versus men versus women versus how do we work together as a team. And I think that's the big thing that I was coming away with. I was like, man, too much. It's probably he's trying to take the load because he says he doesn't do enough, but maybe his workload at work is to fund everything.
Yeah.
He's working 50, 60 hours a week. Then he does the outside yard, but now he's expected to carry this load versus that load. And they're like, well, my load's what's more important than your load.
Yeah.
No, everything matters overall.
That's the thing, right? Is when you start to say, what I do is more important than what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then it devalues anything you do. You could work 70, 80 hours a week, but it doesn't matter because I'm home with the kids all day. Right.
Yeah.
And this can go both ways, right? Maybe the dad's a stay-at-home dad, right? And the wife does all this stuff and he's like, well, I'm taking care of everything at home, and then you start to just fucking hate each other, and it's just kind of crazy. It's funny. So I didn't know Wemby was from France. I actually had no idea, but, it seems like definitely European or just over the seas culture is just so much different, right? One of my clients was telling me about this book that he was reading about raising kids called Growing Up Bébé, which is French for baby, right? And in the book, it talks a lot about the differences between French parent-child relationship and American parent-child relationship. And this is kind of a tangent, but he was talking about, or in the book they talk about how in America, at playgrounds and stuff, it's about this mom who came over to America and observed the culture and how weird it was to her. And she was in playgrounds, I would watch parents constantly walk next to their kid and be like, oh, you're going up the ladder now? You're going to do this? Or, oh, be careful. Don't, and she was like, this is fucking insane. Because in France, I guess they're just you're a kid. I'm not part of this. You go play and you figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's important, right? Mm-hmm. I remember when my daughter, she was super shy, at playgrounds. And now I'm just see ya. And she just goes and runs off, which is awesome. Because at the beginning, I remember she would just want me the whole time, going around. And, I'd go a little bit and then he'd be like, all right, I'm going to go sit down now and you do this. Because I was like, it's important you learn playground rules, man. That's your first experience in social shit, Yeah. Getting pushed off the slide or whatever. That's important shit to go through,
Yeah, man. And it really made me think of my kids' future partners, what they should look for and stuff like that. I was thinking, well, for Christian, it's more of someone who's going to respect them and be a person that doesn't just nag at them pretty much, gives them peace.
Right.
And then for my daughters, someone who's going to be able to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm trying to teach my daughters, don't blame everybody else because it's crazy.
So hold on.
Crazy.
So you see this happen too?
See what?
With your daughters, do they not take responsibility for things?
Yes. So this is where I'm going right now.
This is making me feel a little better.
I can tell my son something is okay, I need you to do this and that and that. You didn't do this. He'll say, I'm sorry, whatever. And then when my daughter, I don't want to talk about that. Just listen to me right now. I'm like, no, you need to be accountable. You need to not just say, I feel this way. And it's probably because I know, especially my oldest daughter, she's a pretty girl, right? She gets treated so differently than other girls would.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? And that's
and
nobody can deny that.
I can tell you for a fact, she's like, oh, just listen to me. I'm like, no, you did this wrong. You need to be accountable.
Yeah.
If I just listen to you, you're just going to continue to make the same mistake and then think it's not your fault. And this is where communicating with the future husband is going to be an issue, or a future partner, because you always are right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this too, is I want a wife for my son, because I think it's really cool when Amanda admits that she's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've met a lot of women who don't admit, because there's a lot of men who, I guess the word simp, right, is the word. They'll do whatever the woman says at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even though she is completely wrong.
Because I think that we've built in this idea that like you should just be lucky that you even have a girlfriend, that I even let you have sex with me, or I even right? And then so then you're just like, oh, they're just going to do whatever you say. Yeah.
And then I think what we already know, like for a guy, you want an ambitious guy, you want a guy who treats you well and stuff like that. And that's easy to keep accountable, right? And we already know about that part. I think what we're learning is more how we're raising women.
Yeah.
And it's such a time of feminism where it was, and now how it's used. Right?
It's been weaponized.
Right? And I'm all for equal opportunity and stuff like that, but you can't tell me we're equal at the end of the day when you're asking for me to pay for everything. And then you said you want to be equal. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Today I was listening to the radio and they were talking about, there was like this TikTok video that was going around about this girl who was like, if your girlfriend or wife or whatever texted you and was like, I need money for lunch, how much money would you send them?
Fucking zero.
Yeah. And it's funny because people would call in or whatever, and a lot of guys are like, oh, I'd give them like $50. Like, that's good for like this. And if they're going out with friends or whatever. And the other people were like, fucking $0. I'm not sending them anything. And it was just like funny to hear the dichotomy of that. But I also saw this other video, or I think I heard it on the radio too. And they were talking about this girl who had like been taken out on a date for like their, I don't know, I think it was like their 5th anniversary, 10th anniversary, or something like that. And they went to like Longhorn Steakhouse or something like that, or whatever. And she was like pissed. Like she was like taking a video of it and was like, take me home. Like, I can't believe you'd like bring me here. Like you could have taken me to Ruth Chris or, whatever. And the guy, and I was just like, God damn, like I feel bad for that guy. Like
that's another thing. It's gone out of hand because of social media. You want to look a certain way. And also I think a lot of times we fall in love with the way we look with someone versus what they actually bring in value to you. Yeah. And that's why we end up with all these divorces, because Amanda's told me stories of like people who are women and that they want this certain partner so bad because they look together well.
Weird.
Versus, are they actually good for you?
Yeah.
And I think it happens to men too, but she just tells me from her experience. Because I don't walk into those type of situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, that's why guys have like sugar babies and shit.
It's just crazy to me. Just overall, like, you care more about the look and what we look at like in Instagram instead of what is really valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. So today I set up a meeting with Renew.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to get information on trizepatide and semaglutide. And the reason I want to do is so I could talk about it in the podcast, because I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this lately is how do we work out with when we're taking this? Because we're to have less calories.
Oh, wow, dude.
It's going to be an advantage to have HRT.
Definitely.
Because you have less calories. What type of multivitamin and mineral and vitamin deficiencies I need to really clear up, because I have less total calories I'm going to be consuming.
Right.
And so I've been thinking about like, how do we talk about this tool a little bit better and create a plan as a trainer better for people who are to take this, because it's going to be out there.
Yes.
I think a lot of trainers think it's going to take away their job because people are to lose all this weight, but you should be happy as a trainer, because now you can focus on performance, mobility, skills of acquisition for exercise, things that I love to focus on instead of the weight loss. And it's just going to make your life just that much easier.
I think it's also going to bring to light to a lot of people, which I've noticed on like clients who've been taking Ozempic or Mounjaro. Or
so I have nobody who's taken it. So
yeah, I've had like 2 who've taken it. One of them, against my better judgment. She decided to do it. That's fine. One of them came in, already have been doing it, I guess, for like a year already. And with her, I've had more experience because she's been on it for a longer time. So there's more like things that have happened with the weight loss, stuff like that. It definitely brings to light, I think, to a lot of people how important muscle and strength is and how they feel when they don't have it. That was like the main thing with her, is that, you know, she's lost a lot of weight. She's been super successful. She looks great. It's been she's had a great, you know, time on it, but she works in a field where she does need to be strong, in order to like complete her job. And we stopped training for a little while for a lot of reasons, but she came back to me and she told me that one of the main reasons is that she was at work and she was going to do something and she couldn't do it. Like she literally didn't have the strength. Like she had to call for help and like had like 2 other people help her. Wow. And she was like, I was like, all right, I need to get back into the gym, because she had just, you know, it's inevitable that you're going to lose muscle mass in the process if you're not resistance training. Right. And so I think that's another thing for trainers, right, is that now it's going to bring even more people, right, because they're going to be like, oh, I feel kind of like shit, you know, because I haven't been training at all. And so now I need to build this muscle mass back.
Yeah, and it also got me thinking of like, okay, you already have a slow metabolism and now you're trying to take Ozempic on top of it. So you're just going to create the situation worse. So maybe for this individual, it would be better for him to reverse diet first. Yeah. And you're going to put a little bit of weight on. Yeah. Get your metabolism back where it's supposed to be. And then take the Ozempic to cut weight afterwards.
Right. It almost is kind of like a bulk and then cut cycle, you know? I wonder if you can use it sort of in that way to like bulk through, build a lot of muscle, and then do it for 3 months and then get off and then build muscle again and then go back on it.
No, I think it'd be great for competitors, like their last 3 or 4 weeks.
That's kind of like a good, you know.
And they're cut and when it's really hard, they're craving food and stuff like that.
Interesting. There's going to be a whole tested division. Ozempic division and un-Ozempic division. You know?
So you're going to be seeing me take it. And it's not 100% sure yet because we got to do the consult and stuff like that. But I just want to see, what do people go through? Yeah. And I'm coming from a different perspective because I do this all the time. Right. Like, how's it going to affect my workouts? How's it going to affect my eating habits? Am I going to enjoy alcohol?
I don't think you can, bro.
There's just like little things like, okay, so now that I have Ozempic, it's going to affect my social life. Yep. So there's going to be a lot of things that I want to go through and talk about it on here and pass on the information. And so that way people can actually see and make an informative decision.
Yeah. You got to join a physique competition now, bro.
No, fuck that.
I want to see you do a big lat spread.
My legs are too big, bro. My legs are too big. All right. So this next topic is AI drive-through.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is cool. So I've seen a couple of videos of it.
Take your order?
I'm an AI in training. I need you to tell me what you need.
Yeah. You need to take your clothes off.
What? Whoa. So I saw a video of them having it at Wendy's.
Oh, okay.
And the person's like, oh, I like to order a Frosty. And then it's like, it's like thinking. It's like, well, do you want anything else? And it goes through the whole process.
Weird.
And it reads everything on the board and you can see it on the board. And they order the Frosty, they go pick it up, and it's just not a human anymore.
No human. Is there anybody cooking, or are they doing that?
No, so I went to Kalahari, right? They could tell they're already going to it. All the kiosks, there was no cashiers. It was cashierless.
You're just touching buttons.
Touch buttons, ordering your food, and then there's people behind it and they're making it. So a lot of places already going to this. So it's just going to be another step. But I was thinking, just from a global scale and the United States, we have different dialects. So is AI going to have to train in each of these dialects to understand how they say words so that way they can be better at getting the correct information back to the human?
Yeah. And then what if it's like totally wrong? Mm-hmm. What do you do? Like, I'm sure there has to be some sort of cancel, start over thing, but it definitely seems, at least now, it's probably going to be a nuisance. You know, at some point, I'm sure it'll work. It also makes me wonder, like, job wise, because I'm like, okay, you're essentially eliminating one of the, like, I guess you could say lower qualified positions, right? Like for people who aren't like super educated or just need a job, or even young people,
or high school jobs,
like to get like those like
fun.
interpersonal experience or money or like for fun or whatever. It's like, okay, that job is essentially gone now. I can imagine cashiers will be gone soon too, at like HEBs and Targets. It's all
self-checkout.
It's going to be all self-checkout, right? And it's like, part of me is like, okay, well, this is maybe good because now these people can spend more time studying or I don't know, something, right? But then it's also like, okay, is it bad though? Because now we're eliminating a whole essential job field, that a lot of people do to start their careers, and it's like, I don't know, it's interesting.
And some people like it as a career, like it's what they do.
I remember at Target there was this one lady, she wasn't a cashier, but she was like someone who worked there for like fucking, I don't know, 50 years. And I'm just like, dude, she was here when fucking Target didn't even exist, and she had just worked there forever, and it's just what she did.
All right, so you sent me this article because you're all about deep fake accounts, and the UK has said any sexually explicit accounts that are deep fakes are criminalized.
It's criminalized.
Dang, yeah. I'm all for it.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah, because it is one of those things that you have to regulate. Because then, like, okay, well, where's the like? When do we say it's too much?
Well, then they could take a picture of you, right? Like it's you, but you're naked.
Yeah,
it may not really be you,
right?
But it can cause you mental harm too, as well, right?
Mental harm. It could ruin my job. It could ruin relationships, families. Marriages, you know what I mean? There's a lot to this shit where it's like, this cannot go unpunished, and I don't know what the total like punishment was or anything, but this is, I think, probably one of the first places, at least like first world countries, right, that has done this and criminalized it. I think because here, didn't they criminalize like unsolicited dick pics, right? You can't send that.
I think so,
yeah, and it's like, that's another thing where I'm like, well, yeah. No, I can't send them to you anymore, bro. Yeah, I'll just send them every morning. Good morning,
Steve.
Are you up?
Yeah. Am I up? I am up now.
Oh, we're up.
Oh, we're up. We're ready to go. Braid that pretty long hair over here.
You go to work, bro.
All right. So before we go into studies, I want to talk about something that people take for granted, or the fitness space does a really poor job of saying, you're not strong if you're doing this, you're not strong doing that.
Yeah.
And let's say squat 405 is one of them. 0.012% of people can actually squat 405.
That is so much weight, bro. I was thinking about it recently because I've been trying to get my weights up, and
it's okay because you've never done it before. I have, but you've never done it.
Yeah, well, I'm part of the 0.012%.
I've done it before.
It's not that big a deal. But I was looking at it, and it's funny. I was watching this one guy that I follow on Instagram, and he's like a powerlifter, I guess. And he was showing that at his first like powerlifting meet, he had squatted 386 or something like that. And then at his like, most recent one, he squatted like 5 something. And he was like, man, like my progress has been so good. Like, both times it looked like it was really easy, and he was just proud of himself, whatever. And I was like, man, dude, squatting 386 pounds, like that's a lot of fucking weight, dude. Like that is a lot of weight.
I've done it.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's a lot of weight, right?
That's right. You're weak. No,
maybe.
No, it is a lot of weight. Yeah.
It is a lot of weight, right? Squatting 500 pounds is a lot of weight, and then I see other guys, like there's this other dude that I follow. His name is Big Boy Blake. And he's like known for his like bench press, like overhead press, like his pressing. I think the other day he like bench press at a competition, like 6 something, and I'm like, that is an anomaly. Yeah. Right. This person is insane. He's also fucking huge. He's got to weigh like 400 pounds, and it's just like, you're not going to be doing that. Probably, ever. Most people, right? Yeah. Unless you're like us, like personal trainers in the gym all this fucking time, or like you take it super serious, right? Like whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, like what is this? 1.1%, right?
Bench press.
Can bench 225. You know what I mean? Like,
although I could do that for 12.
I did too. When you sent me that, I was like, God damn, dude, like that's insane, right? Like that, and again, is an anomaly, right? Like most people aren't going to do that. I benched like 230, and I was like, like trying to get that shit up, and it's hard, And so I think that a lot of the times we like look at our weights or things like that, and you're never giving yourself credit. You never feel like you're strong, right? Because you're just like, oh, I can only squat this much, or I can only,
I think people need to get off social media and use social media as intent. Yeah. So what I mean is use it for educational. Use it for people who are going to add to your life a lot of value. like Strength Solutions, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or, that's what I do. It's all the people I follow, educational.
Yeah.
And if they're friends, if they post stuff that maybe not educational, but is like, oh, I did this today or whatever.
Yeah.
But doesn't like put them in a light of glorifying themselves.
Right.
I like those things, I will not use it to just look at all the negativity.
Yeah.
Look at like physiques that are crazy. Cause we just talked about that comment you had last week.
Yeah.
And you're fat.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this guy's within a healthy range.
Yeah.
He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And you're telling me he's fat.
Or if you are going to follow people like that, like, I follow CBum or like bodybuilders, stuff like that. Go in with the understanding that these people you're essentially following like a football player. You're
following 0.5% of the world.
Yeah, right. And so it's like, I'm not going to go and look at CBum and be like, why don't I look like him? Or I need to eat better. No, dude, this guy's a fucking like professional bodybuilder. Yeah. I'm never going to be like him.
Yeah. He sleeps and trains that.
Yeah. Nor do I want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's like, I think that what you should do, with kind of to your point, is like go by yourself, right? Like, how much do you weigh, right? Yeah. How much did you lift last week or the year before or 2 years before? Like that guy, he was comparing himself to himself. Yeah. Right. Like he was like, I squatted 386. Now I squat 5 something. I'm happy. Right. And that was it.
And sometimes it's not even about the weight. It's about the control.
Yeah. Right.
Like the part that I've done 12 reps before for 225. The part that I enjoyed most, because I went to Peterson and found out that my cervical spine is kind of like the issue and I've been fixing it, with the ease that I felt and felt no trap or shoulder pain throughout my bench press. And I was like, okay, this is working. Right. That's what I'm thinking about more than the 12 reps, because I've done as much as 15 before. It just didn't feel that good.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to these studies. Okay. Now, study number 1 is amazing because I chose it. So there's been a long history of recommendations for nutritional intake. Current research is trending towards a concept of food as medicine, a philosophy in which food and nutrition are positioned within interventions to support health and wellness. And what I liked about this was we're heading this direction, even though back in like 1500s and all that stuff, like Galileo already knew, right?
Yeah.
But what also I liked about it, it talks about the complexities of overall, just you can't have the same diet for everybody.
Yeah, you definitely can't, right? Everybody needs an individualized diet. We were just talking to Joseph, right? And he was telling us the same stuff. Like everything is so individualized. Yeah, we may give you like a generalized program, but at the end of the day, you need to like figure what out is going to work for you. It also makes me happy because I think right now, man, I was so anecdotal. I was at 7-Eleven this morning and picking up some stuff, getting some gas. And it's funny, dude, because I'm walking around.
You got a Bang energy drink?
Yeah, I got 5 of them. Yeah, they had a special 5 for $1. And dude, people are picking up, their energy drinks, bags of chips, donuts, like coffee and this dude was getting nachos this morning at like 9 in the morning. And I was like, this is America, man. Like, this is what we fucking do. This is like
the unicorn Starbucks drink or whatever.
yeah, right. The one that's like 800 calories or whatever it is. And I'm just like, and all the guys there, like the people who are doing the, I guess, manual labor jobs, like the guys who are going to go work for their AC company or their electrician or their landscapers or whatever. And I'm just like, this is what we fucking feed ourselves, man.
The problem with them is they could get away with it now because their jobs are so physical.
Right.
But when they like retire, that's when they like go
they
like
just
that.
Go downhill, right? Or they have a heart attack or they fucking stroke out or something like that. But I'm happy, man. This is important because I think that we're definitely in a teetering point of health right now where I'm just like, we could all probably die, just from the food we're eating.
Yeah. Second study, of course, nutrition as well. It's a calorie restriction study reveals complexities in how diet impacts aging. So the rate at which human cells are aged is influenced by multiple interconnected factors. New research examined how restricting calories influences telomere length and biological aging. So they use telomere length as a good indicator of how your actual age is.
So longer the better?
The longer the better.
Okay. Also,
if you're shorter, because it becomes DNA replication, that means part of it's been getting destroyed. Right. And it's shown calorie restriction is a big part of that process. eating too much is causing you to destroy cells at a much quicker rate. And I think that's why you're seeing this next generation, not so much the millennials, but Gen Z look a lot older.
Yeah.
But there's also other factors that they talked about in there that was not calorie restriction. Talk about stress, sleep.
Yeah.
And how all these factors, not just calorie restriction, is important to the way you age.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm going to say this, but I'm not doing victimization because I'm going to finish it. But I'm just saying, like, the world is definitely set up for us to, like, die, essentially, right? The world is set up to us to eat unhealthy, you know, choose bad food choices, not exercise, not sleep, work all day, stress every day, right? And I was watching this video, and this guy was like, if you want to fail in life, right, do what everybody else is doing. Like, eat the food they eat, right? Sleep as much as they sleep, stress as much as they stress, and work as much as they work, right? And you're going to fucking fail just like the rest of them. The thing you need to do is follow what the small percent do, right? The people who sleep well, the people who eat, exercise, things like that. Like, the world is set up for us to fucking fail. So you have to control what you can control. Right.
You have to go out of your way.
You have to go out of your way. And oh my God, and it's hard. Sorry. You know what I mean? And it's like, we have to do it, right? We, as personal trainers, right, we have to try our best to like be the standard, right? Because people look at us and be like, well, what do you do? Right. Like my clients will ask me like, how much do you sleep? Or what do you eat at home? Or like, whatever, you know, and if I'm like, you know, I don't really sleep that much. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, it is that way. Right. And sometimes it's, I guess, relatable, right. Which is good too. But like, you definitely have to go out of your way to make these choices, and you can make them still.
Yeah.
Right. You definitely can, but it takes effort. And I think that's like what is hard now.
Yeah. And I'm glad that research is starting to point out that there's other factors in the thing they study that actually impacts these things.
Definitely.
And what we talk about here all the time, sleep can impact your stress, the way you eat, vice versa. Stress can impact your sleep, the way you eat. I mean, I know of a person right now who's lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
Not because eating and nutritionally, yes, it was, but the precursor to that was the stress that they're under right now. And there's so much stress they're under that they don't eat.
Or they make bad choices.
Well, they lost a lot of weight. They don't make bad choices. They just don't eat.
Oh,
they're in that end. But it could go the other way, right? Where they gain 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Because they're stressed all the time.
Right.
And so understanding what is your main issue and start from there. For a lot of people, it's going to be sleep and stress.
Yeah.
Working out, some of it, nutrition, some of it. But I find that most people need to learn how to sleep, stress, build that routine that we talked about with Joseph. That's going to get you going the right direction.
Definitely.
All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, please check out Apple, Spotify, or you can rate and review us. Then you can subscribe our YouTube channel as well. Comment down below. Website is ssempowered.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Email is strengthsolutionsempowered@gmail.com. Social media, Facebook, Strength Solutions, TikTok, strengths.solutions.pod, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Empowered. All right, let's get ready for these fitness questions.
Let's get it.
So for this first one, I was asked by somebody, because I reached out to them, like, do you have a question? They're like, actually, no, but my friend does. So they put, my friend asked, why does she have back problems when she squats and does RDLs? Does she need to go see a chiropractor?
Yes. She needs to wear a weight belt.
You know, so this tells me, I know this person's really young.
Oh, okay.
So
the friend?
Both of them,
Both.
The friend
Okay.
and the person, right? To me, if you're really young, most likely it's a activity issue within the core and lower back.
Yeah.
Are you structured correctly? Like, are you creating the can effect? And are you lifting all parts at the same time? Or are you segmenting?
Yeah.
So to me, that's the big indicator. To me, most likely it's not a chiropractic issue, although they can help alleviate the pain.
Sure.
But you have to learn to move through these movements, because these are bigger movements.
Yeah.
That even if I did fix the back, if I don't connect the feet to the head, you're going to have issues.
Yeah. It's definitely a large compound movement, right? I would say most of it's probably going to end up having to do with maybe technique, things like that. Does your lower back get work during squats and RDLs? Yes, right, but it shouldn't hurt, right? That's the difference right there. Definitely learning how to brace properly is my first thing that I would say. Are you bracing properly, and are you feeling it in your glutes like we talked about earlier, right? Maybe you need to prime up before.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's a big part is priming correctly. Because they could be priming, but they're doing more of a stretch, relaxation versus actual priming. This is where I like the Stuart McGill Big Three, which is a modified crunch, side plank, a bird dog. And then I like adding a glute bridge for the glutes.
Yes.
Right. For the RDLs, maybe I would do a back extension like you were talking about before, but really doing it properly, embracing yourself properly.
Like pulling in the core, feeling those glutes squeeze as you kind of come up. Sometimes I'll do like I don't really like good mornings. I like the movement as a hinge, right? Like modifications to that where you may place the plate in front, you just kind of hold on to it and learn how to hinge down and over. Doing a lot of core priming, I would say, is a good thing, and glute priming too. Yeah,
and if your friend is interested, they could always send us a video or ask us to watch.
Yeah, it's all.
And we can break it down more, because at the end of the day, we don't know till we see it.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea.
We're just making assumptions from what we know.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. What can I do to lose weight besides counting calories if I'm trying to be in a calorie deficit? So I know it was question. Whoever you were talking to. Right? Oh, easy answer. You eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Is that what you told them?
No, I was just getting questions. Like, thank you. So I'll give them to you later. All right. If you're trying to lose weight and you don't want to count calories, that's a big one that I have for a lot of my clients. And it sucks too, because a lot of the times it's like you have to be in a calorie deficit, right? There's no real question about it. If you're not losing weight, then you're not in a calorie deficit, right? Like that's just kind of end all be all. There's a lot of other factors maybe into it.
I know we did a previous episode about this.
Yeah. I would say, definitely eating whole foods, just changing that, right? Just going in and changing that. I think another thing is making sure that you're eating protein first, right? Before anything else. Making sure that's the largest part of your plate, I bet, is another way to kind of help you get into there and start reducing calories overall without having to like go in and like type numbers, and be like this. Yeah. And I think, again, just like what we talked about earlier, making sure that your stress levels are taken care of, you're sleeping right.
Building that routine.
Building a routine. Yeah.
Because honestly, I think weight loss is more routine based than anything.
It's behaviors, right?
It's behaviors. And I think another thing that we don't talk about here is winning the weekend. Because most people do well Monday through Friday, but win the weekend. So sometimes maybe it'll be better for you to allow that alcohol during the middle of the week and say, I'm going to be strict on the weekend, because you're less likely to go way over during the week than you will on the weekend.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like, there's more of a chance you're going to be like, fuck, I got to wake up tomorrow for work, and stop. I would almost say don't calorie count during the week, but do calorie count on the weekend.
Yeah, that's
right. So that you don't have to do it so often every single day and like become monotonous and tired of it. Yeah. And then on the weekends, you can track that better. And then, on the weekdays, fuck it, I'm just not going to do it.
I'm just going to eat really well.
Right.
All right. Question number 2. How come bodybuilders have such big muscles, but aren't as strong as physical, smaller powerlifters? So this is what we're talking about a little bit about the, weight loss, Ozempic, and skill set.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, muscle is what it looks like, right? So let's pretend those are speakers. But the amplifier is what powers out the energy.
That's great.
So I can have really big speakers with a small amplifier, and then I can't output that much. But I can have a really big amplifier with smaller speakers, but get everything out of those speakers.
Yeah.
Wow. And make much more noise.
That was good, bro.
Yeah, you like that?
That was really good. Yeah. That was fucking perfect. If people, I guess, understand that. But I think that's excellent. I think most people can understand that. The thing is that muscle mass doesn't always equal strength, right?
Correct.
Strength at the end of the day is more of a nervous system adaptation than it is like physically being big.
Yeah.
Are bodybuilders strong? Yes. Right. We're not going to pretend like they aren't. Are they going to lift as much weight as a power lifter? Fuck no. That's
like when you see Anatoly go up to these bodybuilders and like pick up their bars real easy, right? He's
a
small guy, but
he's a small guy, but he's crazy strong because, like you said, he can get, every fiber of every muscle working. He's so connected to his body. His nervous system is so strong that he can elicit that much strength out of his smaller size. So being big doesn't always mean that you're strong, but being strong sometimes means that you're big.
Yeah, and I also want to bring up a genetic factor too, right? When it comes to the way your muscles look. So there's like the muscle belly, the origin insertions, and depending on where your muscles are at, it can make a huge difference. For example, my bicep, I have a really long bicep. So I have to work 10 times as harder to make my bicep look bigger than somebody else who has a longer tendon here, and it's just a shorter bicep.
A Popeye one.
A Popeye one, right?
Yeah.
So it makes genetics make a difference too as well. We can't just disregard genetics. These bodybuilders are just bred for this.
I hate when people do that, dude. I remember having a conversation with someone. I won't say who it is, but
dude, I got a conversation.
I'll tell you later. Yeah, we were having a conversation with this guy one time. It was me and someone else, and we were talking about like being big, because the dude that we were talking to, big guy, great physique, giant, and me and the other guy were a little bit smaller, shorter, and we were talking about working hard and stuff like that, and the guy that I was friends with, he was like, yeah, if only I had your genetics, and the dude just went off. He was like, no, it's not about genetics. It's just that people don't want to work that hard, blah, 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 whatever. And like, we were like, no, it's like, it's all genetics.
Don't get me wrong. They probably work really hard, right?
They do, right? Because the same thing with like TRT, right? Yeah. Like, it's not like you just inject yourself and you're just, right? You still got to like put the work in. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, definitely. But we could probably put in the same amount of work and not get to the same place, right? Like if I worked out with that guy every single day, all the time, will I get bigger? Will I get stronger? Probably. Will I ever get as big and strong as him? Probably not, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, last question. Why do some muscles burn when you work them out, crunches, and others just get tired, like curls?
This is a funny question.
This is a funny question because, we don't think about this a lot.
Right, yeah.
I think it's more the bigger muscle groups that you're going to feel the burn effect. So like the quads.
Yes.
The glutes.
Yeah. Do leg extensions. Holy shit.
Core. How big's your core?
Yeah.
When you do your chest, it's more the smaller muscles where it's like they just get fatigued and tired.
Yeah. Because it's funny. Like I'll see more people fail doing bicep curls, right? Where they're like, like trying to get them up, right? As opposed to failing at like a squat or a bench press or things like that. Yeah, it's a smaller muscle group. Yes, I understand those types of things. But it's like, yeah, like literally go do leg extensions, right? Like how much does that fucking burn?
And it has to do with the amount of oxygen you need for these areas as well.
Right. Yeah. Because the burn, right, is your body becoming less oxygenated, right? Lactic acid building up, and you can't take it out. And so this it's almost like your muscles become suffocated, right? And they have to like release all this stuff, get it out. Oh my God. Okay. And then they can do that thing again. Right. And that's why you start to feel that. And it's just larger groups, right? So you're going to feel that burn. The same thing is happening when you do a curl, right? But it's just a smaller area. So I think it just comes across more as like, it's fatigued and tired as opposed to like, oh, this is a freaking burn,
Although the same thing's happening.
Although the same exact thing is happening. It's just
psychological.
It's a smaller extent, right? Yeah. So you just don't feel it quite as much.
All right, guys. If you like what we're doing, check us out on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also, we're on YouTube. Subscribe down below. You can comment down below as well. Our website is ssempower.com. We have free blogs, free guides coming out, and programs for purchase. And if you're looking for us, our email question is strengthsolutionsempowered@gmail.com. Social media is Facebook, Strength Solutions, TikTok, strength.solutions.pod, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Empowered. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Until next time, guys, what?